What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogreboy and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2003 movie American Wedding. So this is the third movie in the American Pie franchise, and in this movie, with High School A Distant Memory, Jim and Michelle are getting married and in a hurry since Jim's grandmother is sick and wants to see him walk down the aisle, prompting Stifler to throw the ultimate bachelor party, and Jim's dad is reliable as ever, doing advice no one wants to hear. So this movie is pretty good. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites in the franchise. It's actually might be my least favorite out of the main four movies in the franchise. But it does have some really funny moments and stuff. The cast in here are all, once again, really good. Everybody that came back is still really good in their roles and everything. Although I will say that Stifler gets on my nerves really bad, but it's not really Seann William Scott's fault. He does a great job playing the character. The character gets on my nerves really bad in this movie. But I also like the new characters that were introduced in here too. You got Julia Jones in here as Stifler's love interest, and she's really, really good, and everything. And then you got Deborah Rush and Fred Willard as Michelle's parents, and they're both really great in here. They're really funny, and Eugene Levy is once again hilarious in this movie. Not quite as funny as he was in the first two movies, but he's still really funny in here. And I just feel like everybody did a good job. Jason Biggs is Michelle Ellison, and again as Michelle. They were both really good in this movie. I think they are easily my favorite characters of the franchise, and everything, and their chemistry is just really, really good. There's some really fun moments and stuff. The awkward opening that we get, and every American Pie has an awkward opening and stuff. And this one's awkward opening was pretty good, where she's under the table at the restaurant and going down on him and stuff, and he kind of stands up in front of everybody with his pants down and stuff because of weird happening and stuff, and just one of those really weird, embarrassing moments that he goes through. And of course his dad shows up, and you know, you can't have American Pie without Jim getting into some kind of awkward situation and being caught by his dad and stuff. And this movie just does it really well. It's really funny and everything. So I will say that there are things about this movie that I like and everything, and the jokes are pretty hilarious too. They're not as laugh out loud funny, and there's not as many quirky and funny situations in this movie as there was the first two. Like, I feel like this movie was probably pretty rushed and everything. I mean, each movie came out 2 years apart, but this one came out pretty quickly after the second one. I remember that, but I mean, they were still a couple years apart, but it felt like they kind of just rushed the production of this movie. They could have gave it an extra year or whatever, and it probably would have been a little bit better and everything. But there's also some, like I said, there's some really funny moments, and there's also a really sweet moment between Michelle and Jim's dad that's really, really great and everything. And he's like talking to her and trying to tell her what I love you means and stuff, and he's like, so you get, and he's talking about like shaving his balls and stuff for Jim shaved his balls for her and stuff like that. It's really hilarious stuff and everything, and she's like, I get it now, I love you also means shaving your balls and stuff. I don't know why, but that line just, every time I watch it, cracks me up. It has me in stitches and stuff and everything. I will say, as far as negatives go, this one just isn't as good as the first two because it's missing some of its core cast members and everything. And there's at least 3 or 4 people in here that weren't in the first one and stuff. And to me, that kind of does take the movie down a little bit and everything. And some of the jokes are funny, but the awkward situations are a little bit cringy. They're not as funny as some of the other movies, and the other ones are cringy in a good way and everything. This one is just kind of cringy, normal cringe, if that makes sense and everything. But all in all, I think American Wedding is a decent movie and everything. It's a decent enough time. It's watchable and everything, but it's definitely not one of my favorite out of the main American Pie movies. I'm not talking spin-offs too, but it might be under some of them too, maybe, when I do my full ranking and stuff. But I do think this movie is okay. It could have been much better, but it's a decent enough time for what it is and everything. As far as comedy threequels go, this one was okay and everything. I wouldn't say it's super great, but I don't think it was totally awful either. So, yeah, so I'd say give American Wedding a 7 out of 10. It's definitely not quite as good as the first two movies, but it's still pretty entertaining and enjoyable. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of American Wedding, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.